So we are live today, guys. This is Boss Trading. It's a pre-market show, and you're looking at yourself right now because I have to pull this one down. Otherwise, just bear with me just for a little bit, please. Right now, I'm going to pull this one down. Otherwise, I will get there. Okay, here we are. So this is what I'm looking at. We talked about MNMD, not to confuse it with the other, not to confuse with NNDM. So Maria, Nancy, Maria, Delta. And we established this level here at 480 in the early bird show. And during the early bird show, we said, okay, this is 480, it's going to fade all day. And look what it just did. It touched almost this blue line here, which was the opening price. Then I had no difficulty in breaking this level, which was the close price of yesterday. Made this fake out here at 480. So if you had your limit order here at 481, then you would be in real big trouble here right now. So I'm just looking now that it's pulling back a little bit on its 9 EMA on the 5 minute, which is on the left hand screen. And I'm very curious now if this one will really get this 480 now. Strong, I can see it strong. So I treated out all those ticker names, and we're gonna get to that, but I just want to see what's going to happen right now on this one. So this is a fake out. If you ever saw one, then this is a fake out. You don't like to see these candles either. So this is not a candle that you want to see on a 5 minutes. Just above that opening price of 432. But look at those candles. Count this one too. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green candles in a row. Normally without any pullback at all. So higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Looks to be, this one's going to be another higher low, but now it's just waiting a little bit for some more buyers here. So everybody got spooked because of this. Everybody's watching the screen right now got spooked because of this fake out. So everybody was watching this 480. We are not the only one watching this one. So 480 here is really the pivot point right now. So everybody looked at it and saw this fake out and thought, oh, we're not going to break it today. And that's why we have this consolidation phase right here now around this price. So these are all, so this is 471, this is 470, this is 471, this is 471. This is 470, this is 472. So I don't have to tell you that 471 is 472 is now the first level that you have to break in order to get some momentum back in this stock. So I got, and I see on a bid size, huge orders now. 14,000. 466. So if you lose this 466, then it's downhill from there. And then what you want to see if it's holding this 459, which is the 9 EMA right now. So this is still consolidation, but in any normal pattern, and what's normal these days? In any normal pattern, what you're gonna see here is this is a fake out, people get spooked, consolidates here a little bit, and then falls through this level that is created right now at 466. At least that's what I'm thinking. So just watching this one. So when you are determining to go in a trade, and this is what I'm doing. This is this blue one. This is a level normally. But because of this big drop here from 460 to 436, now that's not it's 24 cents drop on a $4 stock, for $50 stock. So that's huge, I think, in 5 minutes. So then you are thinking to yourself, okay, what's going to happen now after this? Of course you think that. So then this doji is forming, and this is not a bullish doji but a bearish doji. So you think, well, okay, we are in trouble here and we're going to hit this blue line, and will this be support or not? And then before you know it, it will take off without you. So this is what happened in the minute after that, in the 5 minutes after that. So this is the, if I do this here on the left hand side of my screen, then on the right hand side of my screen you see what's happening on the minute chart. So in that first minute of this candle, nothing happened. So you're still a little bit nervous. Is this really a bottom and a support, or will it go lower to the blue line? And then before you know it, you have this big 1 minute candle going up, and you're not in it because there was no reason to get into this. So it goes without you. That's what we say then. And then what you could have done is say, okay, when it's, because this is also not a nice wick here, so you could have said, okay, it's pulling back a little bit, bumps its head against this 9 EMA here on a 5 minutes. I don't trust it. I will stay out of it, but when you get past this number here, then you could have said, okay, now I'm going to get in it. But there's an awful lot of resistance then lying here, so then you're still careful. I think, well, maybe I should not, and so you don't. And then the next moment that you can get into this one is if you here at 457, you can say, okay, when you go after 457, then you can, this one, then you can make that run up and earn a few bucks, because 480, not this 472, that's what we said later. it wasn't in right then, so then you say, okay, it is 456, it will run to 480 here. You get in at 456, it will run to 480, you have a 24 cents room for profit. You don't want it to drop below 450, so this is a 6 cent risk that you're taking. So you take 6 cents risk here for 25 gain, and that's a 1-to-4 ratio. And if you do that, it is pre-market, but volume is good enough to get in with a nice share size, and then you could have traded this one if you happen to be watching this one here. I saw this one later when my alarm went off when it passed this 480. So this 480 was for me at this big level. It passed this one, my alarm went off. I saw this one, but it's fake out, so didn't have my limit already to get in, but otherwise I would have got in here at 482 or 481. I would have been faked out and took a loss of 10 to 20 cents on this stock. So I'm happy that I didn't pay that much attention, but after this fake out, I really wanted to see if it would regain its strength. And what did I tell you just a few minutes ago? This 466 is really a level. I saw that on my level 2. And in my level 2, I can see then if there is such a big order taken away, then I am almost certain that it will fall then. Now it's bouncing here on VWAP. So this is VWAP. It's holding VWAP right now. Trying to regain some momentum. Is this level of 466, which was some kind of support for a long time, as you can see here. Is the support turning into resistance, or will it not get over this one again? Then you are again in trouble. So you can trade this now two different ways. You can say, okay, I'm just taking a guess here. It bounced on a VWAP here, as you can see nicely. This green one is the VWAP. This is 459 right now. So 459 is the bounce here. Okay, I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to get in here at 463, hoping to get to 480. And I'm going to set my stop loss just below this VWAP at 457-ish or something. So then you have a 5 cent risk that you're taking here for a gain of 24 cents. So that's a 1-to-5 ratio, because you still want to see that one go to this 480. And if you do that, what you do then, you buy in resistance. It's because you know this line is resistance because it was support before. It looks like it's going to turn into resistance. You don't know that yet, but you can assume that. So if you buy it here just under that, then you buy in resistance, and you give yourself a little head start to get to that 480. But at the same time, you're taking this big risk because you don't know if it's going to break 466 in the next few minutes. But with a short stop here at only 5 cents, then you can just consider to take that risk. So now what we see here is chop forming. So it doesn't regain momentum. It looked like this might just be another rip to the upside, but it did not. did not do that. And then if you look at the 5 minute now, then you see this one, and the trend on a higher frame is also always more reliable than a trend on a lower time frame. So now you see this one really not being bullish by any standard anymore. So this is a bullish line of higher lows and higher highs. And this is still a higher low, but this is the first lower high that you can see now here. And then this is a lower high, and this is a lower low, only just, but it is. Then this is a lower high, and this is a lower low. And on this 5 minute now, what you want to see if it's gonna hold this 5 minutes here on, which is now on 460-ish. If it does that, then you might just see some bounce back to the upsides, but while we're saying that, it's just going under that 9 EMA here, and at the same time it goes under the VWAP here at the 1 minute. So now all those short players who took the short here, if that's even possible, I didn't check that, can short this one here now. So that was just some live action on MNMD, and to determine if you want to go into this one, I am keeping this one on my watch list because I think 480 and now 483 is still a level that can be broken, and if it's not getting there, then the other level that you want to see here is for 34-ish. So breaking down to 434 and then going up again. This can be a volatile stock, and so be very careful if you play this one. Okay, so just the list that I tweeted out. I'm gonna do this in 10 minutes, so pay attention or look back later if you are inclined. So this is AMD on a daily. That is nice move upsides, then this little downfall. Now into earnings, it got stronger. So this was yesterday, very, very nice. And this is today, so you don't want to see it fall back behind this one, 88.89. It's really strong right now, so I'm not going to call any levels because trading this one purely on price action without levels, because the levels on the upside are in the 94 area. If you want to play a level at all, then just play the safe levels here at 88.32 and at 87.99, so at 88. That's AMD. Then ALDX is going on with ALDX. We saw this line here, and in the early bird morning show, I told you that this is what's going to happen and that you had to adjust this trend line. Well, that's a little far off. So adjust this trend line. It's going down, as you can see. That's not. You don't want to see this on a stock and then go long in it. So it's a short opportunity if you are a short player and especially when it gets below 1365. Then TIRX also down from 2274. In pre-market just got up to this level of 1863. This one, trade this one from the open and close 1665 or up 1863. VIAC, that's the one that we saw here in Argegas with this big fall here. Now it looks like it's going to be choppy around this area, so you want to trade this one into strength because of, you see what it can do if it's weak. So I only want to be in this one if it gets above this 43.50, or otherwise it has to go down to 42.45, and then you have to be sure that this is a level of 42. It can also be a level, and if it holds that level, then trade it to the upsides. Then NTWK, and that's because of this action here. Well, really don't want to make any other levels than I drew out here. So everything above 556 is good for me for a long. I don't think that it will get there today, but you never know with this stock after a move like this. And if you want to play it on a bounce, then it has to bounce to this 468 here and then play it to the upside if 468 holds. Then Macy's back in favor. We drew this here this morning. This is the blue sky that it has if it gets above that 1757. So, and in here, this is, you have room to breathe till 19 when it moves on an AGR of 0.79 on a day. So anything above 1757 will be a long. And if it can't hold this 1736 and it drops, then you really want to see a level here at 1690. You want to see the level holding to play it on a long side or on a short side if you want to short it, but be aware that this 20 EMA is just very close. It's 1673, so on a short side you don't have too much room to play this one. On the long side there's more room for some gains. Then the favorite of the week, that's Ford. This is what happened to Ford. We drew this one in. I drew these three in a few days ago. Well, almost perfect, I would say. Will it get to the 1281 today? It's not a big gain. It's 30 cents on a $12 stock, so it's not going to be a home run for you, but I'm just curious if it's going to follow this pattern going up again, and then on this day will go down again. So very curious to see this one trading. It needs to hold 1244, and 1281 is the other level, so that's a 35-cent range that you can trade it in. Not your home run play, but can be a nice play for Ford. Then the other one, NNDM, that we looked at all week, 2 weeks. It broke this line a few days ago, not with a lot of confidence, but there it was. This was the confidence, and in this move you could have made some money. And now it's just sitting here at 808, and you want to see it holding 794, and then you can trade it all the way back up to 888, or even to this high of 930. 35. And then MVIS. This is MVIS, same kind of pattern. You want to see this one hold now. The 1929. It will, I think it's now 2073. And I'm interested in this one above 2091, and then you can trade it all the way up. It's capable of making big moves in one day, so be aware of this stock because it can be very volatile. 1919 and 20.90 are the two levels that you have to watch, and then on the upsides, a lot of room, as you can see. Then let me see, APHA maybe you play also. Will it? Needs to hold this 1448 here. This 4048 here, and then from there it needs to hold this one and then trade it to the upside. If it breaks 1487, then you can also trade it to the next resistance point 1515, but that's not a lot of room that you have there. So I don't think that I'm gonna pay much attention to this one today. Then FAF, we also have FAF. This is FAF. No, this is FAFO. Okay, so let's skip this one. OCGN. Well, you tell me. Trade this one on price action because, well, what can you say about these moves? This is not something that you cannot make any reliable levels on plays like this, I think. And then the last one that we have is Pinterest. Also difficult to trade, so we pulled out our Fibo friend and said, well, it needs to hold this 67 in order to trade it up again, and the other level is 71.24. So those were 10 shares in 10 minutes. So that was great. There's this little one also, CIDM. Made 1, 2, 3 nice moves here, and we traded this one before, and this upper region went back. Found support here on the 2000 SMA. So if you really want to play this small stock, then put an alert on here in 158. And on 158, it's along all day long. It can pull back to 140, but if it pulls back too far, then you don't want to play this one because those small stocks are really not bouncing after they go back to 140 or something. People lose interest and move on. So that was the pre-market show for today. Hope you enjoyed it. 10 shares in 10 minutes. That's great. You can see me tomorrow also at 10 o'clock Amsterdam time on the early bird show, and at 4 a.m. Eastern time. That's 4 a.m. Eastern time. In the afternoon, I'm not here. So be sure that you trade safely. Happy trading, and see you guys tomorrow morning.